Okay, so the question is about social media and homelessness. I think that the homeless have a right to access to social media. I think it's the one way they have a contact with the outside world, because being homeless can be isolating. I know I'm like looking away from the camera and stuff. It's just the way I think. And there's a lot of people who like, well, if you can afford a computer, why can't you afford an apartment? And I'm like, because you pay one time for the equipment, and there's tons of Wi-Fi. Or with my phone, I have a hotspot plan that's only $15 more a month. So, also social media allows you to get in contact with other homeless people around the country going through similar situations. You learn about services or lack of services in other states and cities, even countries, because you can be in contact with homeless individuals all over the world. I think sometimes when you're homeless, it could be the only way you have your voice, as shelters sometimes infringe on your civil liberties, just to be able to control you, or because they're stupid and ignorant and poorly trained, or they're very judgmental, or they just are power hungry in some way. And so by saying you can't speak to yourself in a swear word for dropping something, it makes them feel better than you. I'm in my U-Haul storage neighborhood. I'm going to be going up to Starbucks, which is open till 1 a.m. because there's no room, apparently. Not even an overflow tonight. So hang out at Starbucks till 1 a.m. There's a pizzeria open till 3, so I might hang out there. Maybe eat some of their good food. I don't know. Gotta do something, in order to hang out. And then maybe come to my storage unit to sleep a little bit, because I don't want to get caught and get in trouble. And I don't know, what else did I want to say? I think, like, a lot of what I wanted to do in the beginning, as a homeless outreach person, that is also homeless, changes and evolves, because I just don't know what to do. And I've wanted to provide T-passes for the homeless. Sometimes I think, oh, that's just too expensive. Too many people question that use of money. The other idea is to raise money specifically for T-passes, and then sponsor a shelter or a service, someone who provides a service for the homeless, like healthcare for the homeless. And then you have, like, a lot of day service shelters for women, but not a lot for men. Which brings up another thing, which is I really want to get a hold of a constitutional lawyer and see how legal this, the way they distribute services, because the demographics of who needs help is very different now. I think it's changed in the last 10, 20 years, And I think much of what is done and the help that is out there is very old-fashioned. It works, but it's not helping everyone. Like single fathers, the family shelter system apparently is, I can't say corrupt, it's just so messed up that I think you would have to scrap it and rebuild it by the sounds of it. I just don't understand what's going on. See, like, there's not enough beds for women because it's assumed that women aren't as homeless as men. But in the daytime, there aren't a lot of services for men. So I'm just wondering if the gender bias could be a real case on a national level or state level. It's very difficult because some states just really don't have services. But maybe it's something that has to be part of, like, welfare reform. I think we need to do welfare reform again because there are more men that are single fathers and less choices for them if they are in the working poor category. And if you have addiction problems, some of the only options they give you is take your kids away. Some people might say, well, that's a good idea if they got an addiction. But if they're in rehab and there's so many different options out there to try over taking someone's kids away. I mean, I think we have to stop giving back children in dangerous homes and leave the children in safer environments with a parent that loves them instead of doing the opposite. What else? The road to housing is very difficult, and I think that something to consider is group home settings, cooperative housing settings for the appropriate types that could flourish in those kinds of situations, which is very difficult because the trauma and the time you spend on the streets can have very drastic changes to your personality and your habits. Something that I think someone who's never experienced homelessness, and I've only been homeless for almost 15 months, and I've spent some of that time doubling up with friends for long periods or being part of Occupy Boston. So I've gained somewhat of a support system out there, and I try never to take advantage of it because I'd rather maintain a friendship than really depend on people that can't have me there. I don't know. It's kind of what happened when I stayed with the friends over the winter. Just we were avoiding confrontation, but nobody wanted to draw the line of this is when you have to leave. And it's harmed me in other ways, like getting housing. So it could be January or February before I get housing because of the time it takes to process paperwork. And some people take their time. Some people have fast track, other people, I don't know. I think my credit history is going to be a problem in evictions, no matter what anyone says. Because they weren't public housing, but they were others, so I don't know. But anyways, this is the start of trying to stay on subject in talking about homeless issues. I think the next thing I want to talk about is a lot of the attitude I see among the homeless, and I don't know if it's just a New England thing or if it's something else. So we'll get into that next time.